Good afternoon. It only works if you're in the shot. I mean, it's great for the folks here in the room, but thank you, Joy. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Let me sincerely apologize to all of you. I know you have very, very busy schedules. We just cut the ribbon on the new police training facility up in the far northeast, and I got there late, which was my fault, so of course I got to you late, and I apologize for that. Nonetheless, bunch of information that we want to share with you. Some of what I'll talk about today you have heard before. Today is a bit of a combination of a significant amount of recap over the past really couple months and some additional updated or new information that hopefully again will answer some other questions that have been asked in recent times. So there are a lot of elements to today's announcement. I'm joined by Everett Gillison, our Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Chief of Staff, Desiree Peterkin-Bell, City Representative and Director of Communications and Strategy, Giselle Jones, Deputy Managing Director for Special Events, Sam Phillips, Director of the Office of Emergency Management, and for the Police Department, Chief Inspector Joe Sullivan. Of course, Donna Farrell from the World Meeting of Families, Dave Beach, who is the Special Agent in charge of the United States Secret Service, and support from a number of other entities, the Archdiocese, SEPTA, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, PennDOT, DRPA, and PATCO. This is the 8th media briefing related to planning efforts for the World Meeting of Families and the visit by His Holiness Pope Francis. Today I have some information to share, including some new information about commercial deliveries and commercial trash pickup, as well as residential parking. The last few events we've had have focused on cultivating, of course, excitement and pride across our region. We launched the I'll Be There campaign, encouraging businesses and residents to stay open and come, of course, to enjoy all of the events during the course of the week and certainly the weekend of Pope Francis's visit to Philadelphia. We announced the International Mayors Forum on Thursday, September 20. Wednesday the 23rd. We announced the International Mayors Forum on Wednesday, September 23rd at LaSalle University, in which mayors from across America and around the world will discuss issues they face in supporting families in their respective cities. There is so much to see and so much to do in Philadelphia during the World Meeting of Families and the Papal Visit. This city really will be the place to be that entire weekend. And best of all, it will be surprisingly easy to get here to enjoy it. Today, I also want to deal with some of the logistical details which we anticipate will make it even easier for the public to do what they need to do. Residents, visitors, and our businesses and their employees during this exciting time. To get an idea of what the Francis Festival grounds will look like, the United States Secret Service has generously created a 3D video which will give us a virtual tour of many of the event space areas. And so I'll ask now that we play the video. Okay.
The way that we are going to try and do this, Everett Gillison, Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, also the Mayor's Chief of Staff, we are going to start the video from the beginning, and I'm going to allow it to go all the way through. It is a rather quick view, so it'll be zooming in and zooming out, and then we're going to go back and we'll just pause it at different places so you can get different shots. Right there is this is a mag point entry that we just went through. We are approaching City Hall. We'll be making I think that this actually takes us above, and to the right, there's what it's going to look like going on the south side of City Hall and around and going north. If you notice, the bike rack is what is being used to keep the public out of the street. It is simply bike rack only. That's all that's going to be in that particular area. As a matter of fact, as you will notice, there is bike rack. Just about all that's in the area is bike rack on the interior side of the city. That's going around the cathedral, the backside of 17th Street. It's now going to go around to the front of the cathedral. And you can still see the use of the bike rack as a way of helping with crowd control in front of the cathedral. That's what it will actually look like. Believe now it's going to actually go and start above. That is going to be what the cow or the Jersey barriers use for shooting to get people in. This is a mag going right in front of the Benjamin Franklin Museum, and that's the bike rack that's going to be right at that level on Winter Street. And those are the depictions of the many, I think it's upwards of close to 40 video jumbotrons that are going to be around in different places. The places that you see them on the location are what it looks like. And the backside of the art museum, which will be where a lot of dignitaries that will be let off, and also having various areas to access and dress, they'll be using that area, which is why that whole area is fenced off, so we can control the access going into the art museum at that point. This is going to be in front of, that's the Monaco. It has a little higher area because the people are going to be asked to go through the back, and that's the magnetometers that's in front of that will approach going towards Independence Hall. That's about a 10 or 12 magnetometers, so will be enough space for people to get through. All magnetometers are ADA compliant, so they'll be able to get people in and get them screened quickly. That's the view from Independence Hall, and as you can see, the majority of it is open and will stay open to that area. The bike rack is what's going to be used in the front side, and you'll see that as it goes over the hall and it'll swoop down. A little choppy. We'll have to work on that with our computer. All right. The next areas, and they'll just advance. These are still shots. Go to the next one. There's about 7 still shots just to give you a look at what the matters look like. You can see on the interior, it's just bike rack. It gives you a wide space and a wide viewing area. There's nothing that obstructs anyone from any views that can be had throughout the interior of the area. That's an idea of what it looks like from the Independence Hall area. Next one. I think there's 2 more. Or is that the last one? Correct. One of the things that I think that this helps actually visualize, especially this one, is the numbers of magnetometers that are used in that particular area, so that when we said magnetometer, even though we were only using the singular, it's actually plural. There are many. There's about, some of them have 10 to 14 that will actually allow people to go through. So the idea is to get as many people through in a short period of time that can happen. So each of these areas, there is not just one magnetometer. There are multiples that allow people to have access. The Secret Service has been doing this for quite some time. They know how to get people in, and they're actually bringing in other agencies in the federal government to help with the screening. So this is the setup. This is the setup that's been done in Washington for inaugurals. This is the same setup that is being done in every city that the Pope is visiting, except for Philadelphia actually has public access where other cities are only ticketed areas. We actually have public access to these areas where other cities do not. So that's why they've put so many resources here to make sure we can move people in as quickly as possible. Next one. I think that might be the last one. Go to the next one. I think the next one, the one that should be the Jumbotron locations. Next one. This is the one, if you can see, all the Jumbotrons literally are going to be on one side so that whoever, all the crowding that might happen, going all the way up to the Art Museum, the Jumbotrons will be on the one side of the street so that people will be able to see both on different sides. And there's no secret that during the papal procession, the Pope will be coming down and using the outer lanes as he circles, going all the way down to City Hall and coming all the way back up to the Art Museum. So all of that has been taken to place, and the World Meeting of Families, I think, has done a great job of just setting this whole stage out, and the Secret Service has worked with all of the concerns that we've had, and as partners, we actually go back and forth, but this is the final product, and I think that what you can see is that fencing is quite low. The Jumbotrons will be out, and we'll be moving this forward. So that's what we have. You can just leave that one up. Thank you. Mayor.
Sure. Thank you. So now that we've seen how great an event space we're going to have out on the Parkway and Independence Mall, and I know that was a lot to take in a pretty short period of time, let's talk a little bit about how to get there. As we've said before, public transportation is clearly the best way to go. And on Tuesday, SEPTA announced the finalization of the Papal Visit Transit Plan, which will maximize service for regular customers and visitors. SEPTA has doubled the number of stations scheduled to be open during the weekend of the Papal Visit on the Market Frankfurt and Broad Street lines, among them 8th Street and 34th Street on the Market Frankfurt line, which will provide closer access to the Francis Festival grounds. SEPTA truly does get you closer, and pretty much no one is going to get you closer to the event as opposed to any other service. And SEPTA also has Papal passes that are available for the regional rail service that weekend as well. You can visit www.septa.org for all the details about all of the services, SEPTA service during the Papal Visit. If you need to get to your hotel or another destination, there are a number of options available to you. As we previously announced, all medallion cabs or taxis and the PPA licensed limo partners under the Uber banner, also known as the Black Cars, will be available to access the Francis Festival grounds until 2 a.m. on Saturday morning and beginning at 3 a.m. on Monday morning to help folks make flights or train or whatever other transportation they may need as they're leaving the city of Philadelphia. WAVE, or Wheelchair Accessible Vehicles, WAV, SEPTA's CCT service, and the Uber WAVE, WAV, that's the PUC licensed paratransit partners, will have no restrictions entering the Francis Festival grounds. There's also the option, of course, of bicycles to get around inside the Francis Festival grounds. Bicycles can travel anywhere in Center City, anywhere in the Francis Festival grounds, formerly known as the traffic box, except in the secure perimeter. Obviously, you cannot take a bicycle through the magnetometer lines. And today, the city is pleased to announce that Indigo, our own bike share program, will be offering special service from Friday, September 25th through Sunday, September 27th during the Papal Visit. Got him the second time. Indigo will provide staffed corral service at several locations, several stations, to guarantee bike and dock availability and to answer customer questions. The following locations will provide this service. Operating hours will be finalized and announced very shortly. The Rittenhouse Square Station, that's at 19th and Walnut. Foglietta Plaza Station, Front and Dock Streets. 30th Street Station, 30th and Market. And the Broad and Spring Garden Station, all Indigo stations, and they'll all be staffed and ready to help folks who want to get a bike. Most other Center City stations, though, will be closed to accommodate this service. You can find a complete list of open or closed stations on www.rideindigo.com/stations, or you can download the B-Cycle Now app for real-time station availability during the Papal Visit. And once you're in the Francis Festival grounds, if you need to walk somewhere to get to where you're going, quite honestly, you won't have to walk very far. We released a map just a few weeks ago, which is still available on www.phila.gov, which shows the distances from outside the festival grounds to the center where the events are taking place. Most people will only have to walk less than a mile to reach main Papal event areas. Now, moving on to businesses planning to remain open during the Papal Visit. Since the launch of our Business Services or Business Resource Center almost a month ago, we have received about 400 calls from businesses. Staffers answering these calls have told me that many business owners are excited to show off their uniquely Philadelphia offerings to visitors and feel that it's their civic duty to present our city as a world-class destination. Most questions have been answered about transportation, which most of the questions that have been asked have been about transportation, which we've been able to answer, and our plans for allowing deliveries and commercial trash collection. Reminder, we announced that residential trash collection is canceled citywide on Friday, September 25th, and Monday, September 28th. We're now able to announce how businesses will be able to get deliveries and handle trash collection throughout the weekend. We've worked again very closely with our partners, the United States Secret Service, to provide as much accommodation as possible because we value our great business owners and their employees who are stepping up to the plate and doing their part by staying open. There are about 60 businesses within the secure perimeters that may potentially need deliveries. The city's Commerce Department surveyed every single business within the secure perimeter area that plans to be open over the weekend to understand their needs and concerns. And so, on deliveries and commercial trash pickup, the window for this type of activity will be from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. on both Saturday and Sunday, and will be limited to vehicles that are 28 feet long or smaller. For most of you, deliveries and commercial trash vehicles that need to enter the Francis Festival grounds, but not the secure perimeters, will be able to do so from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday mornings with no designated entry points. Let me say that one more time. For most of you, deliveries or commercial trash pickup or both, those vehicles that need to enter the Francis Festival grounds but not the secure perimeters will be able to do so between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. on both Saturday morning and Sunday morning with no designated entry points. For the smaller number of businesses within the secure perimeter and the secure vehicle perimeter that need vehicles for deliveries or commercial trash pickup, these trucks must be screened by the United States Secret Service. Additional information about screening and entry points will be provided directly to those businesses and the commercial trash haulers by the city and the United States Secret Service. Remember, you can always walk those deliveries into the secure perimeter and secure vehicle perimeter, and therefore negate the need to have the actual vehicle screened by the U.S. Secret Service. That may be by carrying those items, depending on how big your delivery is, or with a hand truck or something like that. Just load them up, you can walk them straight in, and you'll be screened at that point. If you have further questions, please call the city's Papal Visit Resources Center, 215-683-2100. The center will be open from 9 a.m. Friday until 11:59 Sunday night to take calls and answer questions. 311 will also operate around the clock that weekend to answer general resident and visitor questions. On to a new topic. Today, we also want to be able to provide more detail to residents about the timeline for parking if they live near or within the secure perimeter or the secure vehicle perimeter. If you normally park your car in either the secure perimeter or the secure vehicle perimeter, we need to call on your civic pride and duty and ask you to relocate your vehicle, or, unfortunately, under other circumstances, we will have to relocate that vehicle, also known as towing. Towing in the Center City area will begin on Sunday, September 20th. The map is now up of a towing schedule and must be completed by Wednesday, September 23rd, to accommodate the construction of the secure perimeters and event infrastructure. Let me go over that one more time. Towing in the Center City area, and they are designated by the the variations on the colors that you can see. Towing in the Center City area will begin on Sunday, September 20th, and must be completed by Wednesday, September 23rd, to accommodate the construction of the secure perimeters and the event infrastructure. All no parking areas will receive 1 week notice, and signs will be posted by Monday, September 14th. Prior to the beginning of towing, residents are strongly encouraged, and I want to ask you personally to please park in any other legal long-term spot in the city. You can also check, of course, with friends and family to see if they might have room near their home and can keep an eye on your vehicle for that weekend. Another option is the Naval Hospital lot at 1600 Patterson Avenue. This location has about 1,500 parking spots and will be available for free beginning that week. To further help residents in these no parking areas during the Papal Visit, the Philadelphia Parking Authority will pre-sell spaces in designated garages for residents to park beginning at 6 p.m. on Thursday, September 24th. Once a vehicle has entered a garage, it will not be permitted to leave until Monday morning. The cost is $20 for the entire weekend and must be purchased in advance. That's the Philadelphia Parking Authority. Residents who purchase a parking space in a garage will be issued a placard that must be displayed in their car's front windshield. The placard itself will then exempt them from being on the towing schedule until 10 p.m. on Thursday night, September 24th. So you can purchase your placard in advance, keep your car in your normal parking space, wherever it is, if it's within that zone, as late as and up to 10 p.m. on Thursday, September 24th, and then you need to move it. In short, the placards indicate that the vehicle owner understands that they must remove their car from the street by Thursday at 10 o'clock p.m., Thursday, September 24th, 10 o'clock p.m. Vehicles with pre-purchased spaces can begin entering garages at 6 p.m. on Thursday evening, the 24th. There are 2,000 garage spaces available for residents and 6 garage locations from which to choose. Please visit www.philapark.org for more information about how to buy the resident towing exemption permit and a list of the garages that are available. Also available to residents is a service which newly announced in Philadelphia, I guess just a couple weeks ago, called Lux. Lux is a private valet parking service which will pick up your car and move it out of the no parking zones for you. The fee for this service is $20 per day. Residents can email philly@lux, that's LUXE.com, or register on luxe.com/Philadelphia. It's a private service that's being offered, brand new business in our city, and they contacted us about offering that service. With that, Be pleased to try to answer any questions that you might have about today's announcement, which I mentioned was a bit of a recap of previously announced information and some new information related to commercial trash pickup, parking, and deliveries. And I'm not going to answer any of your questions that you might have right now because Donna Farrell is coming to the podium, after which I will do my best to answer any questions that you might have. Donna.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Mayor Nutter. To the Mayor's team, the City of Philadelphia, the Commonwealth, the U.S. Secret Service, and all of our valued partners who are joining us today for this comprehensive briefing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who's joining us on Periscope. We're very grateful. The numbers grow each time we do one of these briefings. So hello to everyone out there watching on Twitter. We're so grateful. You just heard so many efforts that have been undertaken to deliver a spectacular and safe event for not only the visitors who are coming to the World Meeting of Families, but also the residents. There's so much critical information being addressed today. I am going to address 3 key issues: Papal Visit Playbook, transportation, and Francis Festival. Let's start with the Papal Visit Playbook. It continues to be updated. As you know, it's been online on our website. We continue to work with the city and the Secret Service and the Commonwealth with new information being added to it, details about the visit of Pope Francis, and all of the events that are going to take place here in Philadelphia throughout the region in advance of the Pope's arrival. So remember, this is a document that lives online and is constantly updated, so you can get it at worldmeeting2015.org/Papal Playbook. I keep saying Papal Visit Playbook, that's what we call it, but the web address is worldmeeting2015.org/Papal Playbook. And I'm really excited about this. The Philadelphia Inquirer is going to include the Papal Playbook as an 8-page special insert this coming Sunday, September 13th. I can't believe this coming Sunday is September 13th. It just went to print this morning. It's really terrific, and we're delighted that this incredible resource will be shared with more than 1 million people across our region through the Sunday paper, through the Philadelphia Inquirer, so we're very grateful to them. And if you miss it Sunday, don't worry, the Philadelphia Daily News will include it later that week after this one. Second, switching gears. We really strongly encourage everyone to visit our new transportation webpage on the World Meeting of Families website. So you go to worldmeeting2015.org, click on transportation, and then in the top right corner, you will be linked to the page. And I think it's really a clear, easy way to plan your trip into the city. All of the options are there for during the week, and then in particular for the weekend of September 26th and 27th. We really changed this up quite a bit. And through the changes, the reason why we did it was we wanted to provide local residents, the businesses, and the visitors who are coming who might not know the terminology and the routes, et cetera, with some new tools, some clear language that we think help to clearly address the many scenarios that people face and have options for regarding transportation. So no matter what day you're traveling, what type of traveler you might be, or which of the 5 counties and beyond you might be traveling from, this new page will really help you to see all of the various transportation options from our partners that have come together to serve everyone. There are just so many options, and tickets are still available. And as the mayor said, SEPTA, nothing gets you closer. It's going to put you right inside the Francis Festival grounds. Last, and most importantly, we encourage everyone to be there and join us at the Francis Festival on September 26th and 27th. As you have probably seen, I'll be there. Signs, window clings, and buttons are appearing across the city. Half the time if you see me, I don't have a button on because I've just given mine to someone, because everywhere I go, someone asks me for my "I'll be there" button. #OpenInPHL kits are still available at our distribution points across the city. Those distribution points are available on the website francisfestival.com if you want to know where to get one. And our broadcast PSAs start airing tomorrow across the region, with print and radio ads to come next week. And really excited about this, our beautiful banners that are going to honor Pope Francis and this visit will begin to just shine throughout the entire region as they are put up around the city. And this is happening next week as well. So we are just excited about how much is happening. And we have a few special guests yet to be announced who will be here. And of course, we have one special guest we know who's guaranteed to be here on the 26th and the 27th, Pope Francis. And as a reminder, the Francis Festival, as we are deeming those 2 days, is meant to be celebratory and fun and a welcoming experience for the anticipated crowds from around the world who are already planning to attend, but also for local residents, many of whom are just deciding now that, yeah, I really want to go. I want to be part of this. I'm going to be there. Everyone is invited to come and join in this historic global event. There will be food and beverage vendors, as well as official retail vendors within the festival grounds, in addition to the open restaurants and convenience stores. Remember, open in PHL. And everybody who's attending the festival will not have to go through a U.S. Secret Service checkpoint to access the official vendors. They will be accessible. As you saw in that really incredible presentation, we have 40 Jumbotrons across the Francis Festival grounds to help everyone who's attending be part of the event, be part of every event. Everything that the Pope is doing is going to be broadcast on the Jumbotrons, from the arrival at Atlantic Aviation to the Festival of Families to the Papal Mass. Just as the Jumbotrons are used in Rome, in the public squares across Rome, when there's a papal event, to bring those special moments with the Pope to everyone, we're going to create that same experience, that same spirit of enthusiasm, community, and spirituality during Pope Francis' visit to Philadelphia. Our entire city is going to be so alive. There will be independent food truck vendors within the festival grounds through the coordination of Aramark, which is the official food and beverage provider, as well as the retail provider for the World Meeting. And again, SEPTA and PATCO are going to deliver riders directly into the Francis Festival grounds. Could not be easier. On September 26th and Sunday, September 27th, so buy your SEPTA pass now. If you want to feel the full excitement of the city too, plan to stay overnight. There is still hotel availability in Center City, so make a reservation today and really be in the thick of things throughout all of it, and you'll be right in the heart of the Francis Festival. On one final note, we want to be sure that we're clear about a question we've received on numerous occasions in the last week. The ticketing plan, which was announced last week, with the papal parades, with the 2 papal parades, affects approximately a 3.5 block area of the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. The remainder of the parkway is not ticketed and is open to the public. And with those Jumbotrons, truly everyone will feel that they are part of this historic event, especially because, as was announced previously, the parade route for Sunday still being finalized, but on Saturday evening prior to the Festival of Families, we know that the Pope will parade down the Ben Franklin Parkway, around City Hall, and back to Eakins Oval. This parade route is extensive. It's for everyone, and it will allow everyone along the parkway and beyond to see the Pope up close and personal. For those who have experienced an audience in Rome when the Pope greets people at the Vatican in St. Peter's Square and then goes out into the crowd, which is what we're talking about here with the Papal Parade, all I can tell you is that this type of parade is one of the most joyful, moving, and incredible experiences you can be part of. The cheering, the tears of emotion, the warmth of the Pope's presence, it gives you chills. And it's unlike anything else. And it's happening right here in Philadelphia. You don't want to miss it. So let's all commit to being there together as a city so we can all talk about how we were there for the rest of our lives. Thank you very much.
And before, I did not see him as I had come up to the podium. I want to recognize and thank our Deputy Mayor for Economic Development, Alan Greenberger, and again, the Business Resource Center and all the folks over in the Commerce Department, working with our many businesses, answering questions for them, and doing everything that we can to make sure that we have as easy a time for our business partners as well as their employees. So, Alan, to you and your team, thank you again very, very much. With that, unless someone tells me otherwise, I think I'm ready to answer questions. Yes.
Can you tell us, I saw the banks of the metal detectors. How many total metal detectors will there be to get people into that secure area along the parkway? Obviously, there's a whole lot of people who get through them.
We have a lot. I can't even tell you the number.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you, a lot. I don't know the actual number. We can try to...
Calculations been made to figure out, okay, X number of people get through these, X number of people will be there, this is how long it'll take to get everybody in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for that, I mean, we're not really much in the magnetometer business, so we rely on the U.S. Secret Service and their expertise, because that is one of the many, many things they do for a living. And so, I mean, we have gone over and gone over and gone over all of the, you know, I guess the two main areas, the Ben Franklin Parkway and Independence Hall. I mean, that's where you're going to see that kind of activity. Again, crowd estimates based on experience and their ability through the agents with, as Deputy Mayor Gillison, you know, demonstrated. I mean, I've been to some events where maybe there were maybe 4 or 5 magnetometers in a row. I've not seen this set up with, you know, 10 or 10 plus. But yeah, I mean, they've gone through that process and they know, again, based on their experience, how many people can be screened per hour, per screening station, per individual screening station. And then when you line a number of them up and you have them strategically placed, we think we have the right number. I don't know how many there are, but I know there are a lot of them. So sometimes if you see on the map, like you might see on, you know, we've got like 95 different maps here, but you might see on a map that it's an entry point, and you might see just like one, I don't know, square, circle, whatever the designation is. That doesn't mean that there's like 1 or 2. That's the whole station, which could be 10.
You still expect, I'm guessing, multiple hours to get everybody into that area.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, depending on when people show up. I mean, again, if I'm remembering this correctly, Friday morning at 6 a.m., you know, they open up. How many people are there at 6 a.m.? I have no idea. But, you know, throughout the course of the day, I think that there'll be some level of a steady stream. There'll be the 6 a.m. folks. Other people may still be asleep, so they're going to be the 10 a.m. folks or the 2 p.m. Crew. So it's, you know, it's kind of more of a steady thing, but there'll be some, it'll take a while, and there'll be some backup depending on how many people show up at a particular time or kind of what schedule you're on. Dave?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they're on the map. Again, that's a level of detail I've just never.
It's up on the walking map.
Yeah, not the first one, that's parking. The second one. Yes. And I think that might be numbered.
It's on the walking map.
Yeah, the walking map that was released, I guess, about a week or so ago, it's on there. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
At one of the first press conferences we had, you noticed that hammer the point home to be prepared to walk long distances. And today he said, quite honestly, you won't have to walk that far. Tell me what's changed.
It really depends on where you're going. I think the main point of that, and it may have been at the transportation press conference, it was really more about driving home the message that you will have to walk. You know, and we said it could be a couple miles. You know, I think, quite frankly, since that time, especially with the enhancements that SEPTA has made over that period of time, every enhancement that they've added has, if I can use this word, I think it's still a word, they have, I won't try to say shrunk, they've reduced. So, you know, when you add, for instance, 8th and Market was not on the original list. When you add 8th and Market as a stop, you're literally 2 blocks from, Independence Hall. It makes a big difference. And so a few others that have been added over time as we've continued to refine and work and do. The travel distances have been reduced, but that does not take away from, I guess, the larger point that we were trying to make way back in June when I think we had our first press conference, was that you will have to walk some distance. Again, this is not like, hey, I'm going to pull my car up to 20th and the Parkway and just, in my parking space, and then I'm going to pop out and, walk 50 feet. So I was just trying to get people mentally, kind of geared to the walking aspect of this event, no matter where you're going. So. That's what we're anticipating, and whether people, and obviously, if you're doing a multi-day stay here in the city, one of your best bets is going to be a hotel. Folks will decide how they want to experience the event, and whether they come in Friday night, Saturday morning, or Sunday morning. If you're just going to be here for the day, you probably don't need a hotel room. If you're going to be here, obviously, on a multi-day basis, you will. So, again, all of the estimates have always been based on previous experience. I kind of say it one more time. It's not like folks are calling us individually, like for a house party and saying, hey, I'm coming. People are just going to show up. But from a planning standpoint, let me finish that part of the question. So from a planning standpoint, based on what's happened, World Meeting of Families in the past, or other visits by Pope Francis, our duty and responsibility on, kind of this side of it, is to always be as prepared as we can possibly be based on all, known information. Who shows up is who shows up. But, again, I'd always rather, for an event like this, I'd always rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. You cannot mobilize the resources and the infrastructure you need if somehow we were under-prepared or, missed significantly on the actual numbers of folks who showed up. But I don't know how many people are coming. Yeah. Not that at this point in time. We have to figure out what we can actually release. That is not ours. You see that big symbol in the top left-hand corner. That is marking, not a symbol. It is a marking of the United States Secret Service. It is theirs. They own it. I have not touched it in any way, shape, or form. You will not find my fingerprints on anything related to that. Last question for you. Yes. I can't hear you.
They want to know if you want to release the photo.
We don't intend to release them at this time.
I think because that's not what they do, and it's their property. I think what the agent said, if I'm remembering correctly from 5 seconds ago, I think what he said was not at this time. They will figure out through whatever their protocols and processes are, what they might be able to do. We asked for you all, for illustrative purposes, so you can get a better sense of it. I think everybody knows what a bike rack looks like.
It's hard to determine perimeters from that. The bicycle fencing, is that going to be around the vehicle secure zone in blue on that map, or is it a much smaller area with bicycle fencing? And then you have larger fencing for where the magnetometers are located around the secured audience zones?
The bicycle rack that you see is used virtually everywhere in this entire area. Yeah.
Interior red, secure perimeter.
Right. Same. And the secure vehicle perimeter, you will also see a combination of what's often referred to as Jersey barrier and that kind of activity, that kind of infrastructure rather, for cars. The areas closest to a magnetometer may have a slightly higher area because that's an even more secure part of the overall infrastructure. But you'll be able to see through it. In the back?
Just to clarify, there are no ticketed areas for the parade done?
Say that one more time.
There are no ticketed areas for the parade?
Yeah, there are, because, so this view here, if I believe is west, that's where the Art Museum is further to the top. The area from 20th Street west to Eakins Oval is a ticketed area, and there will be parade in that area. East of 20th Street is a general public area, and there'll be parade in that area as well. The parade is a very, very large area going through what would be quote-unquote ticketed and non-ticketed areas, because we're utilizing the outer lanes of the Ben Franklin Parkway. It's a pretty long loop.
You mentioned sightlines, and we'll all mention sightlines here. I noticed you've got the jumbotrons in the actual inner lanes there, even going almost all the way up to the stage, quote-unquote, area there. I'm just curious why those wouldn't be, say, on the grass areas to the left, and so as not to physically block the view of people who are only a block or so or 2 blocks away. They seem to be within actual sightlines as opposed to jumbotron sightlines.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the production team has put that together. I think, my non-scientific response is, I think for the area that we're talking about, no matter where you put a jumbotron, you would potentially block somebody's view. If you put them,
these big obelisks and so forth along the side of the street.
yeah, we couldn't move those for this particular event.
The jumbotrons in front of them. So
I understand. Yeah, we'll talk with the production company about that, but you also have to, at the same time, we fully expect that there will be people standing on that grassy area that's surrounded by the cement. So even with a jumbotron there, somebody's view is going to be blocked. There's no perfect place, I think, literally, unless you suspended them from the sky, that someone's view wouldn't be blocked. But we'll take that back to the production people. That is nowhere near any of my expertise, not something that I'm even in charge of. Let me go back. It's relatively new to me. Towing in Center City, I'll just read you what I read you. Towing in Center City will begin Sunday, September 20th. Reference the map, so I did not actually tell you the times because the times are on the map. We'll start Sunday, September 20th, and must be completed by Wednesday, September 23rd. So, that map says Sunday at 6 p.m. Sunday at 6 p.m. And then, depending on where you are, there's a Sunday schedule, looks like a Monday schedule, and a Tuesday schedule. And the times are on the map, so they were not in my remarks. Yes. I don't know, sometime maybe this afternoon, later on. Yeah. Phila.gov, that's our map.
And just to clarify, the folks that are in with the blue zone and have to move their cars, if they buy a placard from PPA for $20, they can stay there until Thursday?
Yes.
And then move their car to the garage?
Yes. The placard is basically telling the towing people, don't take that car. This person has already prepaid for a space, therefore they get to stay a little longer, but everybody's got to go by Thursday at 10 p.m., even with a placard.
Will there be a separate parking fee once they get to the garage?
No, if you prepay, you've paid. And with the parking authority, if you do it with the parking authority, it's $20 for the entire weekend. So you paid once. You're not paying to then park in the garage. You are paying right at that moment.
Is that rate only available if you live within the traffic box?
I'm sorry.
The $20 rate for parking garage? Yes.
I'm sorry.
Only available for people who live within the traffic box? No, within the 2 blocks. Will you be checking addresses?
Now, let's be very, very precise in our language, right? Because you just said, no. Right, right. But, I'm saying this gingerly and nicely. That's wrong. It's only in the secure area Francis Festival Grounds are the entire area, which used to be known as a traffic box. It is available to the people who we are asking specifically in the secure vehicle perimeter or the secure perimeter. We're asking them to move their vehicles. If you live in and park in that area, that's the offer that's available to you.
Do you have to prove that you live in that area?
Yes.
Well, street signs all over the place warning, for those who are not as likely to get on websites and so forth, there will be street signs well in advance, instead of about a week in advance, to let people know, hey, you're going to need to move your car from here. Can you talk a little?
Yeah, so again, for my remarks, all no parking areas will receive 1 week notice. And signs will be posted on Monday, September 14th. So it's coming Monday.
Everybody will know they need to move their car.
Yes, and through you as well.
And how will the placards become available? Online or?
When you contact the parking authority, you will get all the information you need about the placard that you're going to buy. I will not be handing them out. Last question.
We have an estimate of hotel occupancy at this point, that weekend, fluctuating, and then we know how many ballpark, how many rooms might be available.
No idea, no idea, and no idea. I just don't know. Yes. Thanks a lot. Thanks.